Hello everyone, this is Benjamin Ramirez playing with a friend. He just wants me to make videos with him and talk about the moves and so forth. For black, I always enjoy playing this moveset. I always like to do the after D4 I like playing F5. I think it's called a Dutch, I forget. But I always go here. What I enjoy a lot about it is it's, how do I put it? A lot of people aren't familiar with it. It attacks the center. It doesn't allow E5 very easily. And it's very positional. I'm trying to learn how to use it, so it's good for me too to watch how I'm playing and why. But right now I want to focus on temporary advantages. Development, position of pieces, center, and space. That's going to be the main focus right now. I think D5 is okay here. I know I'm supposed to prevent him from going to E4 as one of the main parts of this opening. And I believe my pawn belongs on E6 as well. So far everything looks normal. So E6. I could have played D6 instead of E6, well, for that reason. The knight can go there. It's actually really not a problem for black, because I can do the same thing in this situation because of both our pawn structures are similar. But right now I'm trying to develop my pieces and get my king to safety. Since I don't understand this opening very well, there's a big difference between a master and an amateur player. I'm not, horribly terrible, but also not very 100% good. Usually they open with a full plan of why they're doing it, and most people develop just to develop. So I castle. At some point I might play C6 or A6. I'm not 100% sure which one yet. I'd like to keep my bishop here if I can. But in this opening, I'm not fully sure. I mean, it's considered a permanent advantage, I believe, a bishop pair. In this opening, usually the pawns are all over the place and it's more closed in, so I might not care too much about the bishop pair. I think I like C5 here to break up the pawns. If I'm going to try to keep my bishop here, I'm going to have to open up a little bit. Everything looks normal except for that move. Everything else looks pretty normal. I don't think that's really that good. I mean, his king obviously is side is weakened. My bishop can go to H4 and call a check and force him to move at some point. We can trade lots of pawns. I'm gonna start with this one because it's a wing pawn towards the center. So I'm going to keep the concept of developing towards the center. So he lost a center pawn for a side pawn. I'm going to try to get my bishop out to help attack because of the possible check that I have. I want to be able to exploit that if possible. He might not let me, but if he doesn't, then I still have, D pawn or F pawn. F pawn allows my rook to attack, so I'm going to do that one because it allows my rook to attack. Alright, so he blocks in the check that I had possible. Now that he's basically squeezing me in a little bit, and his queen probably might go to h5 very soon. I don't have my knight on f6. I think it's best that I try to kick his knight out the way, and if he captures, I get to put another pawn towards the center a little bit. So I traded my c pawn for a center pawn, and then I get an extra pawn in here. So far so good. I don't think he actually did anything really horribly bad or blundered at all yet, which is nice. It's just he keeps weakening his king side, but also trying to attack. So I don't really see an actual plan of attack for him. So I'm just gonna see if I can mess with his pawn here, and maybe his castle if I can. Now if I go to e5, he can't capture with the pawn because I can take his bishop, and he can't capture with the other pawn because it will make his king side weaker. My rook's right there. So that looks pretty decent move. I was thinking about doing a6 to try to prevent him castling, but if he captures and I capture back, he can move his queen and then castle queen side. So I think I'm developed better, so I'm gonna try to push a little bit, see what that works, see what that does. Right now, his b2 pawn is weak as well. I didn't realize that. I could have taken that if I wanted to. Alright, I think he's doing pretty okay right now. I can capture the pawn is for free. So far, we haven't lost any pieces yet. I can take with the rook, but I also can take with the bishop. And I'm not sure what I prefer. I'm sure there's other moves too. I can probably take the other pawn too, but I need a. I'm gonna take with my rook because I feel like I need to move my white bishop soon, and then maybe double up my rooks, so I can take the pawn and possibly attempt to double my rooks. And I did not anticipate that, so I don't know how good that is. Both his bishops are hanging, and I can target both of them. And my pawn's there, so that was okay. That was very unexpected. So I'm gonna move here. That was very unexpected, but very nice. He can probably, yeah, he can capture and I capture back. I thought I had a free piece there, but I didn't. Well, actually, I still think I do. I can take his bishop, call check. Then he moves up. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a free piece out of this. I'm not sure about calculating the whole entire thing, but I can try to get a free piece out of this. I can call it check again. That's a good move. And then capture the bishop afterward. So that would be alright. But hanging pieces is definitely possible to lose pieces. Hanging pieces basically leaving your piece undefended while you're moving it. So right now I have two hanging pieces. My bishop on e7, my rook on c8 are not protected. So can you exploit them right now? No. But hanging pieces definitely can cause you to lose material. I don't see what he can do there. My f7 square is going to be weak because of that pawn, but that's okay. I'm going to make sure that my d4 and my c6 pawn are intact, so his queen can't come in and try to force something. I'm going to double my rooks as planned, and if he captures, then I get to keep my file, so that's fine. He can do that. I'm already up a piece, so I can play safe, just simply develop and try to take advantage of small things. I'm thinking about moving my queen to d4 maybe. It would be threatening his pawn and also more checks. His queen's there right now. I'm gonna see if he wants to trade. I don't see where he can go right now. That's gonna be very strong. So I'm going to attempt to trade. So that's fine. I'm pretty sure I could have did better moves maybe, but I mean, when you're up in material and stuff, I personally like to play safe and simple as possible. So that's what I'm gonna do. And now that the pawns are locked in, I am going to just simply go towards the king's side. I mean the queen's side with my king. I think my king should definitely try to champion this right here. Champion his pawns. So okay, we can trade. That's fine. And obviously I'm going to try to get that pawn. He actually can move his rook over if he wanted to. I didn't consider that. And that's exactly what he did. I gotta think a little bit more. Okay, that's a mistake. I'm glad I didn't notice this, but that's a check. And a lost rook. So I would definitely do that. Since I, wasn't planning anything, but I didn't see that move. Either or, that one or the rook going there. So if my bishop wasn't there, I would just lost a pawn. So I can take that. So it should be easy checkmate from here. I don't need to do much. So I'm just going to march my king up, move my bishop out the way when he attacks it, and try to go for a back mate with the knight. With the rook and king. See if I can limit his squares a little bit. And check. And see if I can limit his squares. Now I can move my rook to a b2, but then his pawn can go down, and that's like very scary close to stalemate. So I'm gonna move my king over here instead. His king only has the a4 square, which would be mate for me. So yeah. All right. So it was pretty simple. I don't know. Like I had a lot of small advantages when he started moving his pawns up, and obviously once he lost the bishop, all I had to do was just be very simple and try to make trades. Wants to play another game? I guess we can do that. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind doing 2 games. I love e4, e5 games. So I usually try to go into the Evans Gambit or the Fry to Liver attack, which you will see neither in this one. I've seen like 1 or 2 videos on tactic tricks and checkmate early with this kind of position. Well, not anymore. I'll just capture. We can trade bishops. I liked having a bishop pair, but in this situation, it just forces him to double up his pawns and stuff. It's not horribly bad for black, simply because his double pawns is double, but it is double towards the center, so he actually can help him have a stronger center. I have more pieces out right now, so I'm not sure if I should castle or if I should continue to push. I'm gonna go d4. I'm just gonna try to gain extra space towards the center. So, all right, he captures. Queen capture will leave up another piece. Knight capture would threaten his other pawn. I'm gonna do knight capture because it would threaten the other pawn and he would have to defend it. And if he moves it up, then I can move my knight to f5 maybe. So, and he didn't do either of those. I think he made him. I think he moused it maybe because that's just a free queen. I can't propose take back. That's not good. I was just. I feel like castling just to. I'm gonna castle just to give him a chance out of it. I just feel a little bad, but I'm not doing that again. Just one time. Blundering pieces is not good. Okay, that's a little more normal. He should do it the first time around. I can just develop my pieces. I got an extra tempo, so that's good. Give me a smaller advantage. Okay. So I can threaten his king right here for fork. Call it check and take rook. He can castle, which I expected. Now that he castled on that side, what should I do? I'm going to start attacking his pawn. I'm going to try to move my pawns up on my queen side to get an advantage. We can simply capture. It's perfectly fine here. I know my queen's behind his rook, so I have to be mindful of that, but it's not horrible. I'm going to call check, because I want to avoid that. But if I call check, his bishop can... No, he doesn't have a light square bishop. Okay, I was thinking his bishop might be able to block, but he doesn't have a light square bishop. So let's get that queen safe first before I do anything else. I don't like the bishop and knight there because he can move down to attack. I can capture the bishop. Okay, it's not... I won't lose anything if it stays like that. Would I? d4. If I capture with my bishop, he captures with his knight. I capture with my knight. Okay, that'll be a free one for me. Alright, so I'm not going to worry about it then. But this right here threatens his king again. I can attacking his c7 square. So even though I don't have to move it, I have an attack. So okay, that doesn't help him. I should start thinking about more about what he can do against my moves. Like, I'm just basically making moves that I think that are good, that can create threats without really too much considering what he can do. As long as I'm not losing a piece, I'm fine, but that can horribly make a bad position. So I'm going to threaten his queen first, but I don't like that. If I threaten his queen, that leaves both my rooks, my knights hanging. Queen to c6 might attack them both. I'm going to take the knight. That's what I'm going to do. And if he wants to take my knight, then I just call check and take his rook. That's a lot more aggressive. Okay. That's right, never mind. If he took my knight, I could just took his queen. I was thinking about the whole check thing. I still can call it check and take his queen. So there's that. I'm gonna capture his queen. I think that's almost checkmate. Yeah, it's checkmate. Alright. That makes it, it's hard to predict his moves because the rating 1,000 is kind of difficult. So that could be why I'm not paying too much attention to what he can do. Alright. Well, I guess we can do third one. That's perfectly fine. Same defense. I like this defense. That's fine. I normally play f6, so let's just do that. Like I said, I understand it's opening too well. We can keep the same format, and then I can play e6 after he plays the knight move. And he's in the group, and I did say this is a play, so he might have looked up the opening because he's doing the same thing, and that was pretty well. It's actually considered even for both, so that was different, I think. I will continue the c5 plan. Going a little faster now since we already went over this just not too long ago. I'll capture. Okay. So he's trying to do something a little different. I'm going to develop here, so if he captures, I can capture towards the center, my pawn. And that's perfectly fine. I will capture towards the center. Just to give myself a little more structure towards that. I might go to queen of b6 again pretty soon. His pawn is backwards, so e3 pawn and attacking the king and the b2 square all together. I like that move. Hopefully this time he doesn't move all his pawns up. Last time he didn't castle, he moved his pawns up. So this time he castled, so I'm expecting that's actually better. You're supposed to castle early if you can, and not weaken your king side. Anywhere, anytime, any place. I'll look at that later. All right. I think queen of b6 should be fine. That's what I wanted to do. I don't think his queen move prevents that, but it does protect his pawn a little extra. I should castle actually very soon. I'm just interested in keeping my development up. Thug life. Please no. Extra stuff is chess group game versus chess computer. I like doing these. You just pretty much everyone together works together to try to, destroy Magnus 11. Basically beat up a little kid. Magnus 11 is pretty tough. I can't beat it one-on-one. I can beat 10, I think, but not 11. So it's kind of nice to do that with the group. Definitely castle. I don't see any extra attacks after I castle. Both his bishops are pretty much locked in. No knights nearby. Looks a-okay. Alright, attacking my queen. I like the diagonal I'm on. I don't want to develop his bishop. B4 is too exposed. So B7. Okay, he moved that. I can't take the pawn because the knight. So I'm gonna go C5. This is kind of the same plan as before. His bishop is gonna be locked in if you don't take care of it. He did not take care of it. So I will be playing here. Okay. Counterattack. I can just simply capture, but then I lose my bishop here. Can I do something else? If I'm like queen anywhere else, will I still... I'm gonna go to queen of b5. I think that's safe. He can call he can move his other pawn up and I can move my queen back. No, if you want queen b4, I don't know where I'll move my queen after that. Oh. Okay, well if I took his knight, I would have had a free piece. Because he would have taken my bishop back, then I'd take his bishop. I did not realize that he had an escape square. I thought he was locked in. Well, that's not good. Alright, well, that's fine. I was a little, I misunderstood. I had a free piece, and I didn't see it after his knight move. I thought I had a free piece from the beginning. So that makes sense. I'm going to capture the pawn. I'm going to see what he does. If he captures with his rook, I have a free knight. If he captures with his bishop, I think I have a free knight anyways. Yes, I do. Alright. I lost the opportunity of a free piece. I'm not losing this one. So that's always nice. I have a stronger center. My pieces are better placed. I have a piece up, so the best thing to do is try to equalize your opponent and look for small advantages that you can have. That's like the best thing. Permanent advantages, once you have them, you always have them. Like extra material, passed pawn, weak pawn, bishop pair is usually a strength. Open files that you control are usually strengths. So I can move my knight to e4, which I will threaten his queen. I might as well, and he's in a better position. I mean, his bishop can't, actually bishop might be able to kick him out later. I might have to play c3 and then knight to d2. Or I can play knight to d2 now and actually take a piece. Unless he moves his queen up. So I might have to play c3 then that. Okay, I can play it now. I mean, I had the same weakness with the knight, but if he wants to avoid any stuff like that, he has to make sure to keep his pawns in position so my knight can't have squares. going to take the one towards the king side. Even though he has double there, I can probably gain control of the b1, b file. Okay, never mind. I was going to try to take control of the b file. I want bishop and possibly look for a trade. I'm a rook up, so trades mean now it would be rook and king versus king if all the trades are even. So trade. The best thing he can do is try to make it as complicated as possible. So when he watches this, he'll know that in the future, when you're down a piece, don't look for trades. Look to make it as complicated as possible and hopefully try to win a material back or a checkmate. Trading means at the end of the game, I would have a rook and king versus king. So you don't want trades. I can call check. I want to take his bishop, but can't yet. Double. Going for the bishop. Now I get a free piece. He had to move the bishop to protect himself. So now it's just basically rook, king, checkmate type endgame. So not 100% sure. I want to move my king up normally, but in this situation I think a pawn's appropriate because I can make a queen and I'm not going to block the bishop because the pawn actually protects the rook anyways. So right now I'm in the process of trying to remember all the chess principles and play them and try to keep it as simple as possible, and then afterward learn to be more advanced and try to calculate and figure things out more. So if you're looking to practice chess principles, the best thing to do is actually play someone a little bit lower rated than you. And the first thing to look for is development, position of pieces, center, and space. That's the first thing to do in the beginning of it. And then while you're trying to get those advantages, you have to look for weak squares, open files, try to get a material advantage if possible, take advantage of weak pawns and so forth and so on. So that's basically, and when you have an advantage, don't rush. Play very simply, careful, don't blunder your pieces. When you don't have a material advantage, you have to keep attacking and finding ways to keep your advantages that you do have. I'll just queen. I'll keep it simple. I think it's checkmate in 2 unless he calls check. He calls check. So I take. Now I think it's checkmate in 2. Rook to g1 check. Not sure where he'll go. And then queen, I believe. Yeah. Rook to g1 check, he has to move back, queen to g3. He has nowhere else to go. Oh. I thought he had to go back. Oh, he still can't go anywhere. I missed that one. I thought he was going to go to the other side. So I missed that. Okay. I was wondering why time was still running. I'm like, wasn't sure what was going on. I like playing rated games. I mean, even though I won't win any points, if I happen to lose, he'll gain points. So I have to take the game very seriously because that's a lot of points to lose. There's a good games. He did improve the second time. He didn't make the same mistake in the beginning, like the other time with moving the pawns up. Obviously, castle is important. All right. If you're a lot newer, you would like to subscribe, that's fine. If you want to play against me and do commentary, let me know. You can always say, I like to play you. My name, obviously, in the chest is Benjamin14. You can attempt to send me a message. And if you want it on YouTube and me telling you what I'm doing and why, for anyone, let's say about 1400 and lower, if you want me to talk about my moves and why and so forth, I'm perfectly fine with that. If you're higher than that, then obviously you probably would be teaching me and not me you. And I like to learn, so I'd be fine with that too. All right. But mostly people rather learn than teach, so I don't find very many people wanting to actually be helpful towards me, but that's okay. I'm still going to be the way I am and help everybody else. All right. Just like and subscribe, and hopefully these videos are very helpful towards you. I try talking about chess principles pretty much the whole time. If like and subscribe.